The purpose of the seals is to prevent any contact between the Oriole and humanity, thus ensuring humanity's survival. I feel the need to clarify, the Oriole itself does not wish to control or harm humanity. The disaster that visited us was our fault alone. Do not doubt the mercy of our great goddess in giving this gift to us. It is we who are unequal to such a gift. Okay, it's time to leave the safety of our ship and head out into unfamiliar territory. Here we are in the Liber Ark, where our ship has just ploughed a giant crater into the ground, or more like a canyon, and good thing this is making a convenient bridge. But yeah, this is the park block, Kalmare. And yeah, there it is, you can check the map there. So there are a lot of really big areas in the Liber Ark, and I find the Liber Ark really interesting for a few reasons. Firstly, this entire area is nothing like you've seen before in Trails in the Sky. Like, not even the sealed areas or the towers. There are a lot of JRPGs that have, like, ancient cities as final dungeons or final locations. But I feel like this game really nails the whole ancient city thing in two ways. First, the whole otherworldly feeling. Very rarely does an ancient location actually feel to me like nothing you've ever seen before in the game, and the Liber Ark really qualifies for that, I find. Just look at this, like, this doesn't look anything like any of the other areas of Liber. It just has this really cool alien feel to it, and even the style of music, it does have familiar melodies, does kind of reiterate the main theme a little bit, but it's a very different kind of sound. It's just, I really like that. The second thing that I really feel this game nails when it comes to the ancient city thing is that, I think Josh was going to point this out, here, kind of. So, this is one of the very few abandoned ancient civilizations in RPGs that I feel they actually took the time and effort to make it seem like people actually did live here. Like, it's not like, most of the time I feel like these places are designed as dungeons first, and as, like, actual places second. But here, your first location in this place, it's not like a big, sprawling maze of caverns or just, you know, some really cool set pieces for video gaming. It's a park district, a recreational area that you'd imagine that its citizens would have visited. We also have, essentially, train stations, the remains of old public transport systems. Though, admittedly, this bit does look a little bit awkward here with the, one, the full screen, and two, the fact this is very obviously a static background, but again, this is an upscale PSP game. You can't really be too surprised at that. But yeah, you'll see this a bit later, but every location that you visit in the Liber Ark, they really nail that feeling of, this was an actual civilization. People really lived here at one point. And gonna stop for a bit because Josh was mentioning something also important that you would actually know if you read the deciphered data crystals. Because we know that the current royal family is descended from a family that lived here at the time, the ones that sealed away the Oriole. Oh boy, you say that now, things are gonna get even more insane later. But yeah, most of the people who live in Liber now are descended from the people who lived in this floating city. Though I should mention that the floating city is a Liber specific thing. This was not all of civilization beforehand. This was only one part of ancient Zemuria. It's something that you will get into in the later Trails games. But yeah, don't think that everyone lived in the sky. There's a reason why the Liber Ark is named the way that it is. The sky is very much specific to just this region. Anyway, Halo Rail, West Kalmare Station. The Halo Rail system is currently operating at limited capacity. We apologise for the inconvenience. Yes, they even sound like real public transports. Please select a service from the terminal. Gospel-based citizen ID checks are not required for service at this time, thankfully, because we don't actually have one of those. Well, I suppose it's a system of where you poon noobs. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I have very little knowledge of the Halo games, so I'm absolutely not under any authority to reference them. Oh yeah, finally the characters are finding out what the subtitles already told us. Yeah, a lot of people call this the Liber Ark, but no, it's the Liber Ark. It's just kind of weird that Chloe is introducing the statement that way, but yeah. We're actually uncovering a lot of things about how the country we live in came to be. So, I said, like, way back that Gospels, it's just really interesting once you find out what Gospels actually are. They're kind of nothing like what you originally expect them to be. Like, you think of them as some kind of doomsday device when you're first introduced to them, but really, they're just basically ID cards. They're like people's ID cards or passports or, in a way, something almost like a smartphone. Considering they're a direct link to the Oriole. I just find it kind of cool how, like, as crazy as a lot of this ancient technology seems, so much of this is actually rooted in the mundane, everyday lives of the people who would have lived there. Anyway, so, we can actually get some background on what this place is. 4 Halo rail stations, north, south, east, and west. So yeah, this was like a scenic railway service. And you do want to look through all of these topics, because would you like to activate emergency operation mode for West Kalmare Station? Well, obviously, let's do it. Kind of weird that just any random person can walk in here and activate the emergency. I mean, I suppose that's just as like a precaution in case someone gets stuck here without a gospel, maybe. So yeah, the Halo rail, it's light rail taken to its most literal possible meaning. And, yeah, Olivier's, mentioning this here. Erebos does have trams, so they can use the term light rail. Yeah, another reason why I love bringing Olivier to this part. He has some pretty great comments on what's going on. Okay, so let's try and get on the light rail. Currently, no other stations are operating in emergency operations mode. We are sorry, but the Halo rail service is not currently available. Yep. I think you can see where this is going. This is effectively our fast travel system for the Liber Ark. One Halo rail isn't much use to us until we activate the other stations. So, I guess when in doubt, check the computer. Let's see if there's anything else on this terminal that could prove a clue as to how to get around without the light rail. Well, there's an online shop, and here we can open up our orbment slots, which is kind of weird. We can also finally synthesize the level 3 quartz that we found in the tetracyclic towers. We can get as many sapphire gems and ruby gems as we want. Well, as our Seepeth allows. Gate lock release. In the event of service disruption of the Halo rail, a gate may be unlocked at each station, leading to substratum access passages. In accordance with emergency protocols, this station's gate can be unlocked. Would you like to do so at this time? Of course! So how convenient. There is an emergency system of tunnels in case the rail system breaks down. And that's what this locked door was earlier. And that's everything we can do up here. There's nothing here, but it's just kind of a nice viewing platform. I do admit that in terms of overall gameplay, I do have issues with the Liber Ark as a final area. It feels less like a final dungeon and more like a very big, very empty town. And that's not exactly the most engaging place to explore. But I do have nothing but praise for the way that they actually depict like an ancient lost city. And so, speaking of dungeons though, the Liber Ark tunnels are pretty much the actual meat of the dungeon type thing in this place. They also have new music, which is cool. Oh, I was about to say and enemies to fight, and then I realized I still had cloak equipped. So let's not do that. Also, I don't need to set up a stealth for pure physical damage at this point, but I mean, I guess if nobody else is using the Ruby Gem. And hi there, this here is a Dark Lamp. I feel like that's a mistranslation. I think Dark Lump would make more sense. Those would be written the same in Japanese. But calls for allies when injured and absorbs its prey's health. Oh wow, okay. I guess Joshua having the Time Gem has severely gimped his physical damage. But let's see how you like a blue impact. Not much at all.
Well, that takes care of that.
So yeah, you'll notice that Olivier is going to be getting a lot of experience here, so the game's rubber band experience system is really going to benefit him. And hi there, Weather Seeds. I told you we'd be seeing more of these things later. Yeah, as you can probably guess, those enemies that were bleeding into the reality of the tetracyclic towers, they're basic enemies in these areas. Also, finally get to see one of these things actually attack. Alone, they're not really too much of a threat. Most areas in this game, I find, tend to introduce enemies one at a time before throwing them at us in large groups, which is always appreciated. The one at a time thing, not throwing them at us in large groups, but I guess it helped us level up. But yeah, that's a Weather Seed. Oh, and of course we have this song again. We have a door that won't open yet, but it will automatically open and give us direct access back here in case any disruption in the power source of the Axis Pillar occurs, like say we were to stop the Aureole from functioning. Yeah, I think you see what the purpose of that thing is, but let's not worry about that just yet. Deathstream still works wonders in these areas. So while I'm fighting these enemies, you can probably tell something. The Nor battle theme is Fate of the Fairies. Now, Fate of the Fairies is an amazing song, but I do feel like its use here definitely falls under too much of a good thing. This is going to be the battle theme for every single normal encounter from now until the very end of the game. And yeah, like, as good of a song as Fate of the Fairies is, yeah, hearing it this much is kind of, just makes it a little bit, frankly, kind of grating after a while. Again, not to knock Fate of the Fairies, it's a good song, but it's just a bit overused here. I honestly feel like this game should have just let the field theme still play out in battles during this chapter. And it's a monster chest. This one is a whole heap of these dark lumps. Well, actually, yeah, I'm not calling them by that name, but yeah, I mean, they're dark lamps, but I'm pretty sure they should be dark lumps. Also, I love the name of this attack, De-Bloodify. It's pretty creepy in how it works, but it's just, I forgot it had such a funny name. Oh, wow, they can suck out your CP just by hitting you. That's really annoying. But yeah, I just can't get over the name De-Bloodify. That's pretty cool. Please don't kill Chloe. I need her to get the experience from this. I guess I can show Happy Trigger 2. Heals 2,500 HP with love! 2,500 HP is actually not that much this late in the game. However, Olivia will soon be learning something else that's a little bit more interesting, and Chloe will soon be learning something too. Hopefully. Yep, there it is! Sanctus Nova. This is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Chloe to this part. And we get Dominion. This space for rent just reminds me of the Toy Story 2 fake outtake where they put that on Buzz's wings. Silver Gem, that's new. Is this your way of asking me out on a date? That's like 3 forbidden human chess romances so far. The Silver Gem, I believe, is the better version of Yeah, it is, but I can't use it on Olivier because, I haven't upgraded any of your slots to level 3 yet because I'm really low on water and, like, fire seepeth now too. But yeah, max EP plus 15% as compared to 12. It's only a little bit of an increase, but it's definitely pretty cool. Put that there. And swap his evade 4 there. Oh, we have Silver Thorn now from that. So, yeah, Silver Thorn is kind of hard to get on an Ornament. It requires 20 Mirage energy, effectively. I guess I can show that off in the next... There's only one enemy here, but I guess I can still try. So yeah, you might be wondering, like, where Silver Thorn was in this game, because Lieutenant Lawrence used it against us back in FC. It's pretty expensive, and it only has a very small AoE, but it does have a pretty good confuse rate. Of course, Lawrence's version, I believe, always inflicted confusion if you weren't immune to it, so it's still technically a downgrade, but... I don't really find myself using it that much, because, like, Death Scream... It's a little bit cheaper than Death Scream, but Death Scream hits the entire field, and there are no elemental affinities with Time, Space, and Mirage spells, so there's really not much reason to have, like, more than... I was about to say more than one type, but really it's just more than just Time, because Time is the best thing in the universe. I think this path did end sooner. Actually, I think Silver Thorn is the only Mirage element damaging art in this game. And yep, this one does dead end sooner. Oh, it's only 100, but still, thank you. You look mighty familiar. Didn't we meet last game? Definitely not, because, yeah, there'd be questions if we were here last game. So, Olivier is going to get his EP periodically refilled a lot during this dungeon, as is Chloe, but Joshua I need to be a little bit more careful of, because he and Estelle are not leveling up very much here.
Well, that takes care of that.
Makes sense since the enemies here are about level 80, I think. So let's head down this path. These tunnels aren't, like, entirely that complicated. Okay, I think this actually leads to progress, so let's not do that. Because there is actually a fight at the end of these tunnels, and it's one that doesn't really have much warning. Reviving Balm. Don't flip your lid, flip mine. Yeah, I will admit that the main theme does get spammed a lot in this game. It's kind of similar to the criticism some people have of Fire Emblem Fates' soundtrack, with its extreme overuse of the main melody of Lost in Thoughts All Alone. EP charge 2. Sorry, but I'm cutting you off. Yeah, I guess I won't talk about that tangent anymore. The chest cut me off. Oh, they can mute you just by hitting you? That's kind of interesting. I still generally like this game's OST, but later games were a bit better about not spamming their game's main themes as much. You nearly tear the top of the chest off its hinges in your excitement to open it. Your face falls as you realize there's nothing inside. Okay, have I set Chloe's S-Break? Yeah, I have set it to Sanctus Nova. And I'm going to top off of her CP just because I have a suspicion the fight is coming up very soon. There's only 9 chests in here, I think. Okay, but here we are up on the higher level here. And I'm fighting everything I can just because, well, yeah. I need Olivia to level up as much as possible. Okay, somebody leveled up there, but it wasn't Olivier. And I just realized I actually went the way to progress here instead of the way to, well, one chest. But I guess I'll just pick up the chests en route first. Zerum Powder. You can save the world, but you can't remember whether you've looted a chest once or not. And there should be one more chest in a little alcove down here. Curia Balm. It's empty, but if you put your head in here, you can hear the ocean. That would be a pretty amazing feat this high up. So I'm going to double... Hi there. Oh, that's new. I think we're going to actually be seeing that thing a bit later anyway, though. But yeah, there's a phenomenon.
Well, that takes care of that.
And there's a level up on Olivier. Yeah, so back in this room... we need to go up this way. I'm kind of glad there was one of these here, because Olivier is very close to leveling up again. There it is! Okay, we might actually get to show 2 new S-Crafts in the next fight. Also, no reason not to set Requiem Hearts as Olivier's S-Break. It's better than his previous one in every single way. And here we get Onyx Gym. As you reach into the chest, the lid suddenly snaps down. It's eating you alive! And then it's gonna eat me! Kidding. Oh, you should have seen the look on your face. I apologize for being loud there. I also apologize for referencing a terrible movie, but I kinda had to. So yeah, the Onyx Gym. This is Action 5, but it kind of has a bit of a catch to it. -2 movement is not always the best thing to have on physical attackers, so I mostly like to give this to arts users. But speed plus 50%, that's kind of the equivalent of always having Clock Up EX active, and you can also stack another Clock Up EX on top of that. You know what, Estelle's been kind of slow lately and she needs range, so I'm going to actually give that to her for now. But if I am doing that in tactics, I'll need to set her further up to the front. And let's just go in a line, because why not? Okay, so through here, we should eventually see... Oh, there's another way to see here.
Well, that takes care of that.
But as we keep going further... There we go. Yep, here is our, well, proper introduction to the phenomenon. Uses various powerful arts without hesitation. It's also slightly weak to water, just like the Jabba back in Chapter 2 of FC. I don't have any of that on Estelle right now. I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and just have her try and Hurricane just for a bit of, I don't know if the Weather Seeds can be affected by instant death, but I know that the Dark, I insist on calling them Dark Lumps, can be. Now, I want to go for water arts on that thing, but instead I want a Death Scream to clear the field first. Also, this attack is kind of funny when it, well, when it misses, but also when it's sped up. And let's go White Gahanna again, and you can also Death Scream. Yeah, I know this party is like Death Scream spam the party, but that's kind of what happens when you put Olivier and Chloe in the same party as Joshua. Hi there. I would have appreciated getting instant death off on that thing, but it looks like I may not need it, because Olivier's Death Scream is definitely going to kill it. Okay, so... time to show off this. So, not only is that an actual offensive S-Craft from Chloe, which is, yeah, the first time she had access to that, that is also the only magic-based S-Craft in the game. From what I'm pretty sure that attack actually works off Chloe's ATS stat and not her strength stat. But it did do surprisingly low damage for having a lot of CP, so maybe not, but... yeah, I'm pretty sure that attack is magic-based. But, I may as well show the other new S-Craft we got.
I call this Requiem for a Doomed Opponent. Take that! And this napalm! 99.
So yeah, that's Requiem Hearts. It's still not the best because it's a physical S-Craft on Olivier, but it looks pretty cool at least. Kind of interesting how some of the voice clips for that are reused from his other S-Crafts and other voice clips. But, like, some of them have other stuff appended onto them, like how they kind of add on, and this napalm, to the existing Take That voice clip. It's just kind of interesting. But anyway, we're not actually done with this area, but we should be very, very soon.
Enjoy the show.
Requiem Hearts is cool, but I do wish that he got a magic-based S-Craft, because that would be so much better for him.
Not done yet.
And please tell me there's one more enemy, because Chloe's incredibly close to leveling up. I don't think so. I think this is actually the end. Yep, this is the exit to the first set of Liber Ark tunnels. And I'm going to leave going outside until the next part, because that'll take us into a new region of the Liber Ark. So, I'll see you then for that. Wait. I just realized I never showed Wheel of Time. I knew I was forgetting something. I was just looking through the break descriptions. Then I realized, oh, okay, it still has Wheel of Time. I completely forgot to show that, so I may as well do that. Okay, that's like some of the highest S-Craft damage we've ever seen from a non-critical, and bear in mind, she is doing 0 damage with her basic attacks to these enemies. So, Wheel of Time is annoyingly still single target. Like, you'd think it would actually be multi-target, but it's not. It seems like very high damage but single target S-Crafts are kind of a stealth thing. I could say something here, but okay, so, like, cover your ears now if you don't want spoilers, but, so, Estelle does show up in later games,
Well, that takes care of that.
and when she does, she's, like, the only person in those games to have a single target S-Craft, when everyone else has AoE ones. So, yeah, like, they must think that single target S-Crafts are kind of a trademark of Estelle. But at least they do incredibly high damage. They're great against single bosses. And Wheel of Time's name is kind of interesting. In Japanese, the kanji that's used for it are the same kanji that's used for the term Tai Chi. And I think it refers to, like, the balance of, elements in the universe. So, like, Wheel of Time is sort of an acceptable translation. But also in Japanese it has the word orgi in front of it, which is kind of a difficult term to translate. Like, it literally just means secret, but most people translate it as secret technique. I guess the localizers felt that was already implied in the fact that it's an S-craft, so they didn't need to include that part of the name. I can kind of see why they would do that. Reminds me of how there are a lot of people in the Tales of fandom who insist on calling mystic arts high orgies, but, like, even though there's a perfectly acceptable localized term. But anyway, like, let's not get into that here. Now I'm ending the episode, so demoing 3 new S-crafts. I'll see you all next time for more of the Liber Ark.